Hey gorgeous, welcome to Happy Go Fabulous. I am so thrilled that you're here. This is our space where we get real about life, the good, the messy and all the juicy bits in between. Real talk, real life and a whole lot of delicious living. But I must warn you, listening may cause unexpected outbreaks of fabulousness and real life magic. Hi, I'm Catherine and I am so incredibly passionate about helping inspired, motivated, impact-driven, freedom-seeking people just like you to do the deep inner work to create those beautiful outer wonders in life. It's all about revolutionising your relationship with yourself, where you fall madly, deeply in love with who you are and create a life so fabulous you can't wait to jump out of bed every morning to live it. Ready? Because ordinary living is so last season. Life's waiting and it's time to make it fabulous. Let's shimmy on in. Hi gorgeous, how are you? Welcome to this week's episode of Happy Go Fabulous. And this week I'm talking all about my process for falling back in love with life. As you'll know if you've been listening to the other episodes, I fell out of love with life, and last year, 2024 was tough, and I fell out of love with life. And now I'm in the process of falling back in love with life, and I just wanted to share some of that with you. And I guess the main reason I have fallen out of love with life is the unfairness of it, with my niece suddenly passing away, and just my brother and his wife Jade was their only daughter, their only child, and just the unfairness of it all, and just the shock, and it felt really sad and angry. And that's and I'll talk more. I haven't done an episode on grief yet. I'm not quite ready to do that. I will do that. I feel called to do it, but I'm not quite ready to do it, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to share with you, I felt the shock of my niece passing away. It was shock. It was trauma. It was shock. And about my response to that. And we're in the middle of moving and creating our lifetime dream of living by the sea. And it just felt like that felt very not even important to do. And I just felt like I was something that I was so excited about just became not very exciting at all. And I was just like, what's it all for? And I was just angry and shitty about life and sad, just really, 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 really sad. And I guess these aren't in any particular order. I was just jotting down some notes before I came on to record and just sort of thinking about, well, what are the key things that I'm doing to fall back in love with life? And, my business, let me just go back a little bit as to why I do what I do. My mum passed away the day before my 12th birthday, and it was not expected. My mum was not well, but she had very bad asthma as a child growing up and as an adult. Very heavy steroid-based medications, and she passed away while she was in Sydney. So we grew up we were living in country New South Wales, and she was in Sydney helping my brother get set up to move out of home. And she had a heart attack and passed away at the age of 39. And it was all very unexpected. And our way of dealing with her passing was not to deal with her passing. It was kind of like, I was told, Mum's not coming back. And it's like, what? I just couldn't fathom. So this not even 12-year-old version of me was confused and shocked, and there wasn't really an explanation. I didn't even know what she passed away from till years and years, until I was an adult. And we just didn't deal. There was no counselling. There was no, I don't even remember taking time off school. I know we went to Sydney for her funeral, but I don't remember taking time off school, and it was almost like just get back on with life. And we didn't talk about mum, and I knew it made Dad very, very sad, and he didn't talk about her much. And there's no blame. I'm not casting any blame. This is just what happened in the 70s. And we didn't talk about her, and I just had this feeling of it's not okay to be happy, but I can't be sad. I can't show my emotions. I can't be sad. I just have to get on with life. And I just stored a whole lot of emotion. I ate a lot, and I think that's how I dealt with it. And I ended up putting a lot of weight on, but it was certainly not expressed. I did not express my grief. And it wasn't until I was in my mid to late 20s that I just went, I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. And there was this real feeling. I think what I took away from was it's not okay to be happy. It's not okay to be sad, but it's not okay to be happy and have good things happen in life. But then I went, you know what? I don't want to live like this anymore. I choose to live differently. And I did. That's when I made that commitment to myself that I want to make I want to be the best version that I can be, but I want life to be, beautiful. I want to live a beautiful life to honour Mum, not to live one of sorrow and sadness in, because she had passed away. That's not what she would want. So I made that commitment to myself, and I have been very conscious about the choices that I've made personally and business and in life to honour that commitment, that to be the best version I can be and to live a beautiful life and to help other people to do the same. So my whole being is about that. And so my business is about helping people to live their best and most beautiful lives and to be the best that they can be in, professionally and personally, and to make the most out of life. We get given this life, and it's to make the most out of this life. So I've really honoured that, and we were, in that next step to be able to create the next phase of our lives with this beautiful seaside sanctuary. And I felt that that was not okay. When my niece passed away, the whole patterns of the grieving and the sadness that came through, the underlying feeling was it's not okay for me now to be happy again. It's not okay for me to be pursuing this next phase of my life. And this is not anything it is not anything that anybody has said or done. It's my patterning and my response. So I went into fuck. How am I ever going to love life? Like I used to introduce myself the last few years, the ultimate lover of life and anything that shines and sparkles and radiates. And then it was just like, I can't even identify with that. I can't even identify with loving life because I don't love life. I'm angry. I'm sad. I'm pissed off that the life of somebody so beautiful and so young has been taken so early. And I was angry and angry and angry about that. So I just allowed myself to be. I didn't force anything. I just went off social media. I just took time. I knew what was important in my life, and that was my family, myself, and our well-being. And I removed myself from anything that would remotely trigger, I guess, anything. So I allowed myself space. I created the space. I gave myself space, and I didn't force anything. I was just in the present moment. And in all honesty, I wanted to be able to surrender to life. And I remember when I was doing my spiritual psychology a couple of years ago, my studies, it's like, how do I surrender? And they said, surrendering's not a doing thing, it's a being thing. How do I surrender? I learnt to surrender. It's about letting go of control. It's about being in the present moment. It's about honouring what is. And I surrendered to the phase of life that I was in. And I sat with the family as well, but I sat with myself and what was going on. My body, I mentioned this in one of the other episodes, my body reacted very, very weirdly. Like my coping mechanism was diarrhea. And that was probably 6 months worth of just releasing emotions. And I allowed myself to release what I was feeling. And it wasn't what I was just feeling for Jade. It was for my mum, for my dad, for lifetimes of sadness and loss. And I really allowed myself to sit in that. And it was uncomfortable. Man, it was uncomfortable. And I had counselling. I had lots of counselling. I had talk therapy counselling, which was useful to a point. I had energy healing sessions there. That's really good for me. Different modalities of energy healing. And I did a lot with my own spiritual team as well, my own connection and my own healing around that as well. And I guess when I sat with the emotions, there was a lot of the sadness, the loss, but then there was a lot of guilt that came up around, moving into this next phase of life. I don't want to say moving on with life, but it's moving into a next phase of life. And there I felt a lot of guilt around that. And I also carried a lot of other emotions for others as well. I was that responsibility of taking away pain. I think that's a pattern that I've done for a lot, is to take away other people's pain, but then I wasn't sure what to do with it. So I, in my work, I'm really good at that. I can put boundaries in place, but in personal life, it's just like boundary cloak doesn't work. And it was just, how do I walk alongside without taking on the pain? So it was acknowledging. I guess what I'm saying here is acknowledging the feelings, allowing the feelings and not bottling them down like when I did when Mum died. That was bottle. I didn't even acknowledge them. I didn't even know what they were then, but I just knew it wasn't okay to express them. So now it's okay to express them. And I really recognized, one of the big things was I recognized that pattern again with grief, that it's not okay to be happy. So it wasn't just about feeling like I wasn't, it wasn't just like I'd fallen out of love with life, but it was just like, it's not okay to be happy again. And I went, this is the same feeling I had after Mum died, but I wasn't consciously aware of it. I'm consciously aware of it now. So what are the lessons? What do I need to learn from that? And for me, this is, maybe one of the pearls of wisdom to take away from it. But when things are happening, like number one, allow what's going on, allow it. Don't get stuck in it, but allow it to happen. Have somebody to help you to move through, and then to recognize the patterns, but what can I learn from it? Because my view on life is that we all get lessons. We all get a bunch of lessons, and it's about learning from those lessons. And when we learn from the lessons, the patterns are less likely to repeat themselves. So I've been devoting myself to being okay with being happy. And do you know what? My business is called The Happiness Hive. And that came about when I, on the back of that decision that it is okay for me to be happy when I was in my 20s, that it is okay for me to be happy. And it's about helping other people to be as well. It's not about being this blissful ignorance that, nothing challenging ever happens in life, but it's about how we manage that. So Happiness Hive came about from that decision. And now here I am going, I hate life. Actually, I didn't hate life. I just don't love life. And how will I ever get back there again? And when I recognized, here we are at this major pattern, I have a choice. And I sat with that. And it's like, I can either go, yep, I'm never going to be happy again. And I can sit in this state that was not comfortable. Or I can recognize that this is a cycle that I'm going through, and it is okay for me to be happy again. And for my niece's funeral, this was channeled through me. I know I didn't write it, but there was a poem about life is precious, live it well. And it was about life is precious and to live it well. And that message just kept coming back to me. And it's like, life is precious, live it well. You can choose not to be happy, or you can choose to be where you are now and know that life is precious and make the choice to live it well. So I have that same pattern happening again that as I did when I was in my 20s, that I am renewing that commitment to myself, that life is precious and I'm going to live it the best way that I possibly can. And that doesn't mean that I'm not grieving and that I'm not sad and I'm not in pain, because it absolutely does. But it means a big thing for me is knowing I have a choice, and it's this and that. It's not this or that. It's not be happy or be sad, don't love life or love life. It's about recognizing that I can be sad and grieving and heartbroken and feel like my heart is never going to mend. And I can also be happy and joyful and love like the rays of sunshine that I see every morning when I go to the beach. I can have both. And living life to the fullest, something for me, I have always said, I'm all about experiencing life to the fullest. This is living life to the fullest. I would love there to be less heartbreak, but that's the life that I have. And I am navigating that. Remember when I said in my other episode about mastering my emotions? That's a life lesson for me. Is I'm an emotional being, and life is giving me experiences, and I get to use those emotions. So honouring the choices that I can make. Also about knowing that life doesn't have to be shitty or good. It's a spectrum, and it's not always shitty, it's not always good. It's they're all melded in together, and knowing the rhythms that I go through in life as well. One thing I did do that really helped me, and I'm not sure if you will get to do this wherever you are. I'm in a beautiful environmental space. I have nature. I'm living in nature. I'm a couple of minutes from the beach, but I set myself, I would walk along the beach every morning, and I do these periodically. I do what I call 33-day resets. And the 33-day reset, the reason 33 days is, it takes, time to make new neural pathways and connections. 33 is a really powerful, it's a master number in numerology and spiritual. It's actually really, really powerful. So I set myself for 33 days, just this question. And it wasn't about how do I fall back in love with life. It was a parallel process, but this has helped me to fall back in love with life. Is coming to this particular place where I'm living now, this sanctuary by the sea. I feel that I've been called home. And not just I've been called home to a beautiful physical home, but it feels bigger than that. I feel that this spot, remember I said in my last episode, and if you haven't listened yet, it was about living my big dream and the process I went through to actually manifest living here. And I was talked about location, and that this feels that it's home. It feels like I've been here before, and not just on holidays, because, but it feels like there is a part of me that's been here before. And I just set myself the question for 33 days every morning when I walked along the beach, was why am I here? Why have I been called home? I won't share all the bits with you, but one of the really key bits was you've come home to heal. You are in this place to heal, and through your healing, you will help others heal. And it feels like very much that it is a calling of the healing really helped me. So it was about healing from the broken heart that had been happening, that is still happening, from recent, from past, and from, it feels like there was ancestral healing happening as well. So through my lineage, and for some of you that may be a strange concept, for others you'll go, yep, I get that. It felt that there was big healing happening, and it's just like, I didn't need to know the ins and outs of what that was, but I've been called home to heal, and through my healing I will help others. And I feel that has helped me with the falling back in love with life, that it is just taking every day as it comes and not putting pressure on myself. I've not put pressure on myself at all. In fact, I have been giving myself the space, not kept very private and contained while I've been here, because it's been my own personal healing. And then I'm now feeling ready to sort of go, okay, now I'm ready to get involved in the community and get to know people here. So I have not forced any of that stuff, but by being called home is the healing. And when I talked before about some of the things unfolding with my business, is that I'm not exactly sure the ins and outs of some of that, but the emphasis is definitely around healing from past wounds. And for me, that has helped me to feel more energized, I guess. It's a very different energy now, but and I'm allowing myself to do more of what I love, what I really love to do, things that I've sort of gone, one day I'll do that. I built myself a labyrinth here, and I knew that I was going to do that, but it was a very cathartic. I'll do an episode. I think I said that before. I'll do an episode about building the labyrinth. It was a very physical experience, but it was a very spiritual experience as well. So there was a lot of healing there. I go to the beach, and that's certainly a place where I can that is my happiest of places when the sun is rising. So being at the beach is an opportunity for me to, bring in more of what I love to do. I'm studying sound and frequency and energy, and things that I've used as go-to modalities. I'm actually studying to use those modalities for others, and I'm really tapping in to my connection with my guides and my spiritual team that I've used very much personally, but I'm really tapping in. It seems that that's in overdrive at the moment. So I'm allowing myself space to do things that bring me joy as well. So I haven't just shut down going, that I can't do this. I'm sort of done that initial healing, and now I'm bringing in more of what I love to do, and I'm going very, very gently. So falling back in love with life is a gentle, gentle process. I am not going full on into, right, I'm going to love life again, although I would like to, but it's a very, very gentle process. And it's a slow process, and it feels like it's a very profound process, which I'm loving. It's a very devoted process again, which feels really good. It feels very, very loving and good. So going gently, giving myself space, honouring what's going on, and learning, recognizing the patterns, recognizing my own rhythms. And I guess all in all, when I hear myself say that as well, is it's about really knowing who I am, what I need, and what, loving life means for me, because that's different for other people. And it's that whole, really knowing yourself and doing that inner work. This is not an external, tangible experience. It's an internal self-love, self-care, self-honouring, self-knowing practice to be able to love life and really appreciate life. And I guess in just finishing up, is life is really, really precious. So wherever you are at in your journey of life, know that it is precious, and live it well. Just really live your life well. That is my wish for you. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to Happy Go Fabulous. I hope you loved it. If you did, could I ask a big favour? Please subscribe, leave a review, and most importantly, share the love and let your besties know about the podcast. This will help get it into the hearts and ears of all the gorgeous souls who need a little bit of fabulous in their life. If you'd like some more high vibe happiness in your life, come and visit me on my Happiness Hive socials and make sure you've signed up to my newsletter, your weekly drop of juicy goodness. Pop over to my Happiness Hive website and click on the link Working with Catherine. I'd love to help you make life amazing. Until next time, keep being fabulous.